All right, hey everybody. This is my 2026 vision video, kind of looking at the past year, what I'm looking at for this year, and kind of everything involved with all that. So, looking back at 2025, you know, kind of hit the middle of the year and um, realized that we had to make some changes again with our health. Uh, I took on a new position in 2024 at my job, and pretty much right after that, things got pretty difficult there, and I never really managed it well. It took me a little while to kind of get settled in. Nothing ever really went really off the rails, but I never got comfortable. Over the last year and a half, though, I did make a bunch of changes, and I know that I settled in there. But middle of this year, I started realizing that there were definitely some things missing, right? Or maybe some things that I should get rid of in my life. Social media was just all the time. Whether or not I was posting, I was on it, right? YouTube videos, things like that. So I decided, I realized that I wasn't really giving my family or my health or my Bible study or faith really the attention that it deserved. So middle of this last year, definitely made those changes, and I went from hovering around 250 to about end of December I was 197. So pretty big swing there, but locked in again, kind of like I had a few years ago. If you know anything about a few years ago, I started at 370 pounds, and then I reduced my weight pretty quickly from 2021 through end of 2023 down to 203 pounds. And that was because, I was watching, I would see pictures of myself with my kids, right? Or I'd be trying to do things with my kids. And I realized that the way I was living, the way that the things that I was demonstrating for them were not good, right? I wasn't setting a good example. I was very unhealthy. Finally, I took a moment just to say, hey, what's important to me? What do I want to do in the future? Where do I want to be in the future? Who do I want to be in the future? And I said, I want to be there for my son when he's playing baseball. I want to be at my daughter's wedding, walking her down the aisle. I want to meet my grandkids. I want to meet my great-great-grandkids, or great-grandkids. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves too much there. So, I had hopes and dreams that I knew that the things that I was doing weren't going to get me there, right? So I made those changes 4 years ago with my wife, who's been an amazing support through all of this, and haven't looked back since. But right now, when I look forward to this future year, I am thinking about how can I help other people, right? And what can I do to continue making improvements myself? So part of what I've done is I've always been very much a systems type person, somebody who likes to think of solutions to problems and then implement solutions to problems. I'm an operations manager. It's all about processes, all that, right? So when I look at that, I think of I can look at a problem and I can solve it temporarily, but the root of that problem is how I see myself, right? So if I think of how I see myself, who am I? And when I reflected on that, I said, I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm a healthy person. And when I started really changing my attitude towards who I thought I was or who I am, that's when I started seeing differences. And I also used that new shift in perspective to really create the systems that I use to make sure that I'm, going to the gym, eating healthy, I'm doing my Bible studying, I'm trying to improve as a person and as a husband and as a father. Still got a ways to go. I'm not perfect in any of these things. There's always room for growth, but I've come so far, I think, and I want to be able to help people. So what am I doing this year? I'm going to be doing a bodybuilding show on September 26th, 2026. I know it sounds crazy, um, and it's out of the ordinary for me because I'm usually someone who is like very self-conscious and very much keeps to myself. But this is something I've wanted to do for years, and really I've kept pushing it off because I'm scared of failing. Fear of failure is probably my biggest thing that's held me back in my life. And the next was just thinking of uh, what other people's opinions would be of me when I did it. But I think I'm over that now. I know that I'm not going to win. I've got too much like loose skin. You'll see some video here with loose skin. I probably don't have enough muscle size, so I'm not the smallest person in the world. And I'm very much not symmetrical. Uh, Rachel pointed out, like I've got like a curve in my spine. Anyway, um, but what it's really about is discipline. It's about doing something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's about proving to my wife, my kids, and myself that I can uh, follow through on a commitment that I make and do it. One of my biggest things has been I've never been in a condition to even consider doing this. If you talked to me 4 or 5 years ago, I'd have laughed at you thinking that I was going to do a bodybuilding show in the end of 2026, right? So I'm really excited about that. I'm scared of it, but I am more excited than I am afraid. Next, I'm going to run or start a business. That's going to include really my target is husbands and fathers who are struggling with finding motivation to go to the gym or eat healthy and really just becoming, healthier people, right? That's where I was 4 or 5 years ago. And I think what I've created for myself is something that I can pass on to other people to help them. I'm really passionate about seeing, those changes in people. So I'm going to be putting out some guides, a newsletter on Substack and through email that I've gotten started. The first ones of each of those are up now. And then the last thing will be the Training Habit System, which is an online group I'm going to start. It will be paid, and it'll run for a certain period of time. And I'll have the description or links in the description for that. It's really my goal here, my dream is that I can help to impart some of the knowledge and things that I've learned over the last several years to help other men. This is honestly like really a stressful, like shooting this video. This is like the 5th time I've tried to do this. I tried it talking on my own, then I tried it with script, and I'm like, it just doesn't seem right. So I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to wing it again with some notes. And I think that I want to just say that this is terrifying for me. But when I look at where I want to be in a few years, like 5 years from now, I know that if I don't start doing the things that I think are important, I am not going to get to where I want to be. The same way that if I hadn't started 4 or 5 years ago in losing weight, I would not be where I am now. And every time I wait is a choice to not do something that I think I should be doing. So I've decided to push forward and to do what I think is good and what I think is right and what I think will get me to where I want to be as a Christian, as a husband, as a father, and just personally with my own goals. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching if you're still here. Social media, I started posting off and on here and there again. I will be continuing to post there. That'll be where all of my stuff is accessed from. And then just please follow along as I go. I'll be posting bodybuilding updates. I'll be posting those guides and newsletters. And I'll just kind of be posting things that I think will help people as they want to get into their gym and be healthier. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.